All right, welcome. Do I have a mic? Yes, I do have a mic. Okay. Welcome, race fans, out to Daytona International Speedway for the Southern Motorsports Lazy Days Racing Xfinity Series. Should be a great race out here tonight. Big field. Waiting on some of the paint schemes to actually load. And they are still in their drivers meeting at this minute. But we've got a lot of drivers out here tonight, and it should be a great race. Right now we have 33 drivers registered for the race tonight. But we do have a handful of drivers that have left the session before it started, so we will be missing a couple drivers as we go into the start of this race. And they should be finishing up their drivers meeting here in a moment. And we're going to start to see some of these Xfinity cars pulling out of pit lane as they will be getting in their last practice time. They might do a pit party here. We'll see if they get one going before practice runs up and they head to qualify. If we can do one more refresh. We're getting some more of those paint schemes now. There we go. It does look like we're going to have a lot of guys coming out here to do a couple laps around before we head to qualify. And Shane McCurry's leading this pack out. I'm not sure if they're going to group up or not, but Shane is not leading that pack anymore. There's actually AJ Hamill and let's see if we can see who that 23 is. I don't think we have a 23, so I think that might be somebody else. Let's see if it's a 26. Nope. This is 29, Shane McCurry. And there are no point standings here tonight, as this is the opening of the Southern Motorsports Lazy Days Racing Xfinity Series. And it was announced earlier this week that the Southern Motorsports will be running a chase format for their Xfinity Series and their Truck Series, so a win here tonight will help a lot of guys in that chase for a championship. as we'll be waiting for the first couple times to come in. And just to give you an idea of how many drivers we do actually have out here after you take out the drivers who have already left the session, we had 7 leave the session. The 97 of John Sorensen, the 41 of Kurt Davidson, the 77 of David Harvey, the 89 of Shane Pippola, the 71 of Dean Viney. Oh, some of these guys haven't actually gone out to qualify yet, so we do know that some of these guys are on the track. As we have our first time come in, Adam Baker currently sitting on the pole. That will change quickly. Ryan Gemmel takes it over. Start to see those second lap times pouring in soon. Anthony Tinchner will take over the pole for the moment. Anthony holding on to that lead. Jeffrey Smith will take over second now. Chris Samard, I believe that's how you say that, is sitting in third. Brad Hicks takes over fourth, and Bobby Jonas is your top 5 at this moment. And I think we do have a couple more cars still on the track. And I think all of our times are in now. And we are flipping to the grid. So let's go ahead and go through our grid tonight. Anthony Fitchner will be your pole sitter tonight. Jeffrey Smith in second. Chris Samard in third. Brad Hicks fourth. Bobby Jonas in fifth. Justin McDuff sixth. Lynn McNeese in seventh. Joe Mitchell eighth. Paul Zoda will start 9th, and Dean Viney will round out your top 10. Jim Locking will start 11th. Paul Cohen in 12th. Ryan Gemmel will start 13th. Adam Baker 14th. Todd Kirkwood will start 15th. Michael Palmer 16th. Billy Howard will start 17th. David Gainforth 18th. Rob Whitmore will start 19th. David Thompson Jr. will start 20th. Shane McCurry will start 21st. Eric Burley 22nd. Stephen Bird will start 23rd. Jay Dubuque will start 24th. Lupe Gonzalez did not take a time here tonight. Will start 25th. AJ Hamill will start 26th. Shane Pippola starting 27th. Kurt Davidson 28th. Keith Haney 29th. David Harvey 30th. John Sorensen 31st. Daniel Haney 32nd. And James Haney will start 33rd. And so far, looking at the field, only one car did not take the track. That would be the 97 of John Sorensen. So we've got 32 drivers out here. $85 laps tonight. So it's just enough where it's long enough, just enough where it's a shootout. Kind of surprised we don't see last night's winner, Joshua Salcy, out here. He was talking about how he's excited to get out here in the Xfinity car, so it'll leave a huge opportunity for some of these younger drivers to get a win tonight. Pace car will dip in, and Anthony Fitchner will bring him to the line. Green flag is out. 85 laps at Daytona International Speedway. It happens every race at Daytona. When are we going to have the big one? And we're already seeing that bottom line push as Paul Zota moves into 4th place with 27 of Chris Simillard and Lynn McNeese on that bottom line as well. And we'll see just how long those top line drivers stay up there, as the 24 of Jeffrey Smith is getting a push with Brad Hicks right now. And can Jeffrey Smith make it around the 12 of Anthony Fitchner, as that top line is starting to work for these guys? I was saying these guys are going to start to drop to the bottom, but I don't think they're going to do it right now. one of Paul Cohen weaving back and forth. And we do have one car that went down on the apron. Does look like he filed back in line as we go into turn number 3. And we're starting to see that die off again that we saw with that top line, as more drivers have filed to the bottom line. We've already got a second pack going. See if we can get a look to see who is leading the second pack of drivers. And that would be the 37 of Todd Kirkwood. Back here with David Harvey, Bobby Jonas, and James Haney, and Jay Dubuque is not far behind them. So we'll go back out front with Anthony, as we are now 5 laps into this race. I'm sorry, Jeffrey Smith currently has the lead. Anthony was looking towards the top line there. Didn't take it. Now we'll see how long Brad Hicks fights on that top line. We'll see if he drops to the bottom eventually. And you got to applaud these guys. 23 cars are still together in 6 laps of racing. As we're starting to see Brad Hicks shuffle back because of that top line dying off. And Anthony Thitchner, a driver we haven't seen in a while, is up front pushing Jeffrey Smith, looking for his chance to pass. Looking outside for a moment, Chris Samard, a new driver to Southern Motorsports. That outside line starting to get a push now, as Brad Hicks is moving back up the field with the 20 of Justin McDuff right behind him. We got a car down on the infield. I believe that's a 51 of Paul Cohen. And it is. He's flipping. We're staying green. Take a look back to see what happened to Paul. And it looks like he caught a little bit of the apron coming off the tri-oval and did lose control of it and blew the engine. Does have a quick repair, so as long as he can get out of the pits quickly, he will be okay. And Brad Hicks has taken over the lead, able to push ahead of Jeffrey Smith, but Jeffrey Smith still has that bottom line. Jeffrey Smith goes to the top line now. Anthony Thitchner going to move back into the lead. And that may have been the wrong move for Jeffrey Smith there. we have our first caution. Not actually sure who it was or why the caution was thrown. Let's see if we can see any drivers that have some damage. Going through the field, we don't see any damage. Let's see if we can see what happened. Paul Cohen was already in the pits. Not sure what caused the caution. With that, while these guys are taking a pit stop, let's go ahead and take a break ourselves. When we come back, we'll get an interview with Jeffrey Smith, who's currently running in second place. Jeffrey Smith, you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, well, you led 5 laps already in this race. Seems like you've been battling up front. How's the car feeling out there tonight?
Feels good. I mean, a lot of really good super speedway racers out here, I believe, right now. So we're just going to have to be smart and keep all of everything under us for that last run.
Has that top line been working for you?
Yeah, well, I had Brad there pushing, and Brad's really good up there. So, yeah, the top line will work. It just takes it a minute to get there.
All right, well, any shout-outs you'd like to give right now?
Nah, not really. I'm just going to concentrate on racing this thing right now, and we'll get to it here in a little bit.
All right, well, hopefully we talk to you later on in the race in Victory Lane.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Jeffrey Smith has led 5 laps tonight. Brad Hicks was able to get out of pit lane a little bit quicker and passes Anthony Fitchner and Jeffrey Smith, who were leading the pack for most of the race. So Anthony actually drops back to 5th. So our top 5 right now: Brad Hicks, Jeffrey Smith, Chris Simiard, and Lynn McNeese and Anthony Fitchner. And we do have one car that's a couple laps down, the 51 of Paul Cohen, currently sitting in 31st. But he is only 2 laps down after losing control and hitting the wall, blowing his engine. So he's got to be happy to be back on the track now and not be too far down, as we still got a long race here tonight. And these guys should get the 1 to go this time round, double them up, and get ready to go green flag racing again. And before we go green, it is showing that the yellow was pulled by Brad Hicks, so let's go ahead and take a look back and see if we can get far enough back. Let's see, before we go green again. Oh, it's probably not gonna let me, but I am getting word that the yellow was caused by Brad Hicks. So interesting. Brad Hicks involved in that, yellow but able to get to the front. And we'll see now if Jeffrey Smith can get the push without Brad Hicks behind him. But he does have Lynn McNeese, who's always a tough competitor out here at Southern Motorsport. Pace car's in, green flag is out, Brad Hicks takes him to the line, and Jeffrey Smith is actually going to steal that lap. Jeffrey Smith already getting that quick run on the top line. Let's see if he can drop down below Brad Hicks. And doesn't get below him, and actually he's falling back now as Chris Simyard is going to move ahead into second, and Anthony Fitchner right back to where he was starting, now in the top three. And Jeffrey Smith did get a little bit of run coming off of turn number 2. Let's see if he gets that same kind of push coming off of turn number 4. Back out front, pushing, or not really getting the push he would like with only 3 cars behind him. He's got the 84 of Lynn McNeese and the 48 of Adam Baker, though. Let's see if they can get the push, and Chris Simyard will jump out with him, leaving a huge gap behind Brad Hicks and Anthony Fitchner. Top line can get the push as the front four seem to be separating from the rest of the pack. And we're starting to see a little bit more separation as this run goes on compared to the last run. As Adam Baker dropped to the bottom line, and he'll now try to take third from Chris, and he does. And Anthony Fitchner into the grass. We're staying green. Not sure what happened to Anthony there. Chris Simyard and Jeffrey Smith now taking over the top 2 spots. And Jeffrey Smith going to go to the outside and try to make a pass. And it may not be the greatest move with nobody behind him. He does take over the lead for the moment. Adam Baker is going to ride up right behind him and try to give him a push. And they've got the 26 of Eric Burley right behind them. The 20 of Justin McDuff is also trying to make a move. Bottom line, starting to get a run on these guys again. Jeffrey Smith is now sitting in second, though. Let's see if he can get the launch off of turn 2 that he needs to pass Chris. He does make the pass and just barely gets down in front of Chris. Now we'll see if Adam Baker can cycle to the front. As we now have the 41 of Kurt Davidson on pit road. And he has gone the lap down. Adam Baker looking to take over the lead, and Eric Barilli has pushed his way up to the top 4 now. Jeffrey Smith starting to get that run on the high side. Surprised we didn't see Adam Baker come down and try to get into that bottom row, as Jeffrey Smith now going to go to the high side. That's going to give Chris the opportunity to get the lead back. And Brad Hicks, who started on this, started in front on this restart, is working back towards the front. Adam Baker beginning to blink a little bit. And that could have spelled disaster for the 26 of Eric Barilli, but he's able to keep it together. We got 3 wide action back with the 77 of David Harvey. David's losing it, and we got a wreck. We got a yellow. The 77 and the 07 of Billy Howard were both involved in that. Let's take a look back with our second caution of the night. And they went 3 wide going into 3 and 4. And there was actually a wreck behind them as well. Wow, we had 2 separate wrecks. Let's see if we can see what happened on this one. And the 7 was involved in that one. Let's see if we can find the 7. Of David Thompson Jr. That was a big wreck back here with these guys. Take one more look to see what happened. And the 89 got into the 70, got into Paul Soda. 7 involved. I believe the 89 was involved. And I believe the 54 was also involved in that. A big wreck. 2 different wrecks at the same time. Go back. And Jeffrey Smith is currently scored as our leader. He's on pit road. Does he make it out before Adam Baker? Oh, that's actually Todd Kirkwood. Todd Kirkwood is scored as our leader at this moment. Todd Kirkwood pit. And I don't think Todd pitted, so Todd elects to stay out and will take the lead. So with that, let's take a quick break and come back and get a word in with Todd.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Now let's see if we can get a word in with Adam Baker, who is currently sitting in second place. Adam Baker, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, you had a couple good pit stops, able to push yourself towards the front. How's the car out there tonight?
It's pretty good. It's a little bit loose on the exit, but not too bad at all.
How's the Highline for you?
The Highline's been working well. Once we can get like at least 3 or 4 cars together, we've been moving pretty good. I stuck up there basically the whole race, so it's working well for me.
Now, I know in past builds with super speedways, the Highline has actually hurt a lot of people getting towards the front. Do you think iRacing has tweaked that a little bit and actually made it where the Highline is competitive?
It's a possibility. I think it might be these Xfinity cars. They're pretty good for racing on these super speedways. You can get a lot of good action up front with the Highline, so I think it might just be these cars. It could be the newest build, though. That's a possibility.
All right. Well, anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
I'd like to give a shout out to the league and also Lazy Dayz Racing, the sponsor for the series, and you for broadcasting as well.
All right. Well, hopefully we get a word with you later on in the race when you are in the top 3, or better yet, victory lane.
Thank you.
As they go to 1 to go, they'll start to double up, and we'll see if Adam Baker can get that run on the high side. Paul Cohen getting the wave around, and will now be scored 1 lap down. And I believe we have 1 car that's taken it behind the wall, the 7 of David Thompson Jr. So we still got 65 laps of racing to go. We go green. We'll be on lap 26 of 85. And 2 cautions here tonight. But so far these guys have been pushing the cars to the limits. And I wanted to take a look at this. Eric Barilli, who's sitting in 5th. Eric started 22nd tonight and has pushed himself up to, I believe he's in 4th actually, so he's pushed from 22nd up to 4th. Pace car will dip in, and Jeffrey Smith will bring these guys to the line. Green flag is out. And Jeffrey Smith does get the lap led. It was close, but he does lead the lap. Or excuse me, Adam Baker stole the lap. So he was scored as that leader for lap 25. But Jeffrey Smith is getting the run on the bottom side with Chris. And Brad Hicks is going to try to tuck in right behind them and get around Adam Baker. And we're seeing that high side is getting the run off of 3 and 4, or 2 and 3, 1 and 2. Sorry about that. And Adam Baker was able to move ahead of Jeffrey Smith for the moment, not able to hold on before he was able going into 3, as he tried to cut down and didn't have the room to cut down. And Jeffrey Smith was scored as the leader once again. We'll see if Adam Baker drops to the bottom now, and he does. He does get the successful pass on Jeffrey Smith. And now Eric Barilli is on that high side with the 12 of Anthony Fitchner. And it looked like they were going to both go to the high side, and decided not to. And now Adam Baker once again thinking about going to the high side, and elects not to. Eric Barilli is pushing for the lead now. And we'll see if Eric gets the runoff on 1 and 2. Got some lap traffic down below. I believe that was David Thompson, who was involved in the wreck earlier and is back on the track now. Eric will beat Adam to the line and get his first lap led of the night after starting 22nd. Drops to the bottom in front of Adam. Leaving Anthony Fitchner and Paul Zoda on the high side. And it does seem like that high line is starting to die off for these guys up there right now, as it's 2 against 5. Or actually 2 against 6. The 31 of Michael Palmer jumps to the high side to try to join these guys. Adam Baker going to the high side as well. Adam Baker's going to try to make the run. Does Adam Baker have the power on that high line to get around Eric Barilli now? Does get the lap led. But I'm not sure what happened to Adam there, as he lost a lot going into 1 and 2 and gave up a ton of room to the top 3, as now Jeffrey Smith goes to the high line and Anthony Fitchner dips to the inside. Paul Zoda still on that high side with Michael Palmer. 26 of Eric Barilli, Anthony Fitchner, and Chris Simiard are on the bottom line, with Brad Hicks a little ways back. And that high line does seem to be dying off more and more as the run goes on, as Adam Baker's now going to dip to the inside, and I believe that was Chris Simiard dipping to the outside. We get guys changing which lane they're in all the time here, trying to find the best spot to be. And it looked like the 12 of Anthony Thitchner wanted to go high, decided not to. We got a car down. The 07 of Billy Howard was down on the apron. Anthony Thitchner goes to the lead going into 3 and 4, not able to get down in front of Eric Barilli, but it does have about a car length on him, so he should have the run coming up to 3 and 4. And I'm not sure who led that lap. It did score it as Eric Barilli leading the lap. As here comes the danger, they're working on some lap traffic. I believe that's the 65 of Jaden Buke up there. Anthony Thitchner still doesn't get clear of Eric Barilli. And we got a car losing control. Didn't get who it was. There it is. The 71 of Dean Viney, able to keep it together, but loses all of his speed and the draft. He'll try to hook up with Shane Pippola as they're coming around fast. We'll see if he's able to hook on with the back of that line. And he doesn't, so he'll lose the draft for the moment. Go back out front. Adam Baker has taken the lead at the moment, but Eric Barilli still got that bottom line on Adam. A little bit of wiggle coming off of 3 and 4, which let Eric lead yet another lap. Adam Baker's line starting to fall back as he is dropping back to 4th or 5th, battling with Lynn McNeese trying to get ahead. And it's definitely looking like the bottom line starting to pick up some steam. And Anthony Thitchner was kind of looking to the inside there. Not able to dip in front of Eric Barilli. Brad Hicks now going to the top line trying to get the run on Eric. Eric Barilli's still leading this race. Brad Hicks is trying to get that run on the top side, but we're not quite seeing it, and we're seeing some lap traffic now. We'll see what happens with this lap traffic, and we can go 3 wide, and the 07 sticks in front of Brad Hicks and slows him down. He's going to drop back, and we're going 3 wide, drop the field 4 wide at points. The 77 and the 07 bunched up a lot of traffic there. And Eric Barilli is still out front. '84 Lynn McNeese gets loose, goes into the grass. It does look like he was able to save it. He'll come back on, see if we can save the draft. As Jeffrey Smith's left to dry, Adam Baker jumps out with him though. And it looked like the 12 of Anthony Fitchner thought about going to the high side. And we've got the 91 of Jim Locking, and I believe that's the 35 of Bobby Jonas joining in with the front pack, along with the 83 of Ryan Gimlin. As Adam Baker will now take the lead from Eric. Eric getting a little bit damaged. Able to keep it together as Adam didn't give him too much room. And Anthony actually made contact with him. And we're going to have Jeffrey Smith and Ryan Gemmel now in the front, with Billy Howard trying to get a lap back. And he's in front of Paul Zoda. And Ryan Gemmel flips the apron, goes down on the grass. We're seeing that a couple times, and we're going to have a caution here as Eric Burley is spinning. Not sure what happened to Eric there. Let's go ahead and take a look at this as this is our third caution of the night. The 83 get down loose. And I believe it was the 18 of AJ Hamel. See if we can get a better angle of this. It wasn't the 18. It was the 12. The 12 hit the 18. Bunch of cars involved in this. And a bunch of the guys that were running at the front. Eric Burley still has his reset. Doesn't have a blown engine. It seemed like most of the guys were able to get it back on the track. Had a couple blown engines. We'll see where everybody sits after pit stops. And Jeffrey Smith is back out front. And let's go ahead and take a quick break as these guys go ahead and take their pit stops. We're trying to find Paul. There he is. Paul Zota, you got a copy.
Yes, sir, I got you.
All right, well, you've been battling out there tonight. How's the car feeling?
It's actually feeling pretty good. I ended up getting into a little bit, trying to avoid something. I ended up having to use my fast repair. So, and then they checked up. I hit Jeffrey Smith in front of me a little bit, got some nose damage. So I'm hoping it's not going to mess me up now.
Well, right now we got you running as the leader. So, now have you noticed anything? We've had some guys saying that the high line is working for him, and I believe it was Adam Baker was thinking it was just the Xfinity car that's running really well on that high side.
Yeah, the Xfinity car, the outside line still gets a good run, and you can pass on the outside if you get a good group together. I know in the Cup cars you cannot do that up there, so it's nice to be able to have that back here. I was lucky to start in the outside line the last start, but the guys couldn't keep it too straight in front of us, man. So, we really could never get up there where we wanted to be.
All right, well, any shout-outs you'd like to give tonight?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Lazy Dayz Racing for picking up this series and sponsoring this series and the Xfinities. And if anybody hasn't checked them out, go to our webpage, click on their link, on their logo and their link, and go check them out, see what they're all about. We appreciate them coming on and sponsoring this series. Tonight's the opener, so we're hoping for a good one with 8 or 10 car chase, so it should be interesting.
All right, well, hopefully we get a word in with you later on in the race when you're in victory lane.
That would be nice, but the chances of that happening, I think, is going to be slim to none, man. But I'm going to give it all I got, that's for sure.
Hey, it's super speedway racing. You just got to survive to get there, right?
That's it. But I really can't tell if I got any nose damage or not, so I guess I'll find out on the start. Hopefully clean air will be good.
All right, well, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're going to 1 to go now. Got 41 laps to go here tonight. Let's take a look at the race summary. Paul Zota is scored as the leader at this moment. We got 4 cautions for 12 laps under caution. We also have 18 lead changes. That's pretty normal for super speedway racing. And we do have... Actually, I believe we still have 29 cars on the track. I believe we have the 65 of Jay Dubuque, the 7 of David Thompson Jr. Taking it behind the wall, Lupe Gonzalez and John Sorensen did not grid tonight. And your top 5 right now is Paul Zota, Joe Mitchell, Jeffrey Smith, Michael Palmer, and Anthony Thitchner. And it's good to see Joe Mitchell up here now, as last night he was leading the Truck Series race and was taken out by a lapped car. So Joe Mitchell sitting in second place. Let's see if he can get the run, and let's see if Jeffrey Smith can push Paul Zota ahead and hop to that high side and try to get around him. And Paul Zota was talking about that front end damage, but he's able to get the jump on the restart. And it doesn't look like Joe Mitchell is jumping to that bottom line, which will let Michael Palmer now work up there. We see Eric Burley back on the track, still in the top 10, currently sitting in 7th. Let's see if Anthony Thitchner can push Michael Palmer to the front to get his first lap led tonight. And the 54 of Joe Mitchell down to the inside. And Michael Palmer will lead that lap because Paul Zota's got nobody behind him. And Anthony Thitchner and Eric Burley are driving right by him. as Michael Palmer gets his first lap led here tonight. And Eric Burley is right back out front, sitting in second place at the moment. Anthony Fitchner on the outside. Paul Zota behind Eric. And Brad Hicks on that high line. And it does look like Eric's thinking about going to that high line. Looks like he's checking outside, not getting it though. And he does go to the high line now. And Paul Zota sucks up quick to the 31. And Eric Burley is the leader for the moment. Eric does drop to the bottom. And it looked like he's playing the middle. Looked like we're gonna go 3 wide there for a moment. In front as Eric was in the middle of the 2 lanes. And Anthony Fitchner now moves to the lead. And Eric back to the lead now. Back and forth these two go, trying to get the lead as we're on 37 to go. And your top 10, as it sits right now, Eric Burley, Anthony Fitchner, Michael Palmer, Brad Hicks, Shane Pippola, Paul Zota, Jeffrey Smith, Kurt Davidson, Jim Locking, and Bobby Jonas. And they're coming up on some lap traffic. Let's see what happens as they're going to go 3 wide. And it does look like everybody was able to keep it together, getting past that lap traffic. As earlier we saw Brad Hicks get cut off by the 07 of Billy Howard. And this is the first time we've seen Shane up here now tonight. Seeing a couple new names, a couple guys we normally don't see at the front, running at the front, but once again, that is super speedway racing. Anybody has a chance to win it, no matter your skill level. And I believe that's Paul Cohen coming off of pit road. He is our only, no, he is not our only car lap down. He is actually 3 laps down at this moment. And Anthony Fitchner takes over the lead, but Brad Hicks is on that outside pushing for the lead now. And the high line is dying off with only Shane Pippola and Brad Hicks up there. Chris Simyard's got to catch them to get them some help. Lots of movement, and Brad Hicks is pushing for the lead. Wouldn't have thought with 2 cars they could get ahead of the pack, but they are pulling ahead, and both of them will pass. So now our top 3 are Brad Hicks, Shane Pippola, and Anthony Fitchner. And Anthony will go to the high side, and Eric Burley will try to suck up to the 89 of Shane Pippola. As Chris Simyard working back into the mix now. Anthony Fitchner will take back over the lead. And he leaves Chris Simyard up there. So I imagine Chris will start to drop back. And a 41 of Kurt Davidson now getting into the mix. And they're coming up on lap traffic again. It does look like everybody was able to keep it going. Shane Pippola on the high side with Chris Semyard and Kurt Davidson behind him. Anthony Fitchner, Brad Hicks, Eric Barilli, and Michael Palmer on the bottom side. And it has really amazed me how most of this race tonight we've had side-by-side racing. Usually you see about halfway through the race, you see the field kind of go single file. We have not had that at all tonight, as almost the whole race we've had one car on that high side. And Shane Pippola will move into the lead. And he'll drop to the bottom. Now Chris Semyard on the top with Kurt Davidson and the 70 of Rob Whitmore. And 89 Shane Pippola, Anthony Fitchner, Brad Hicks, Eric Barilli. Paul Zoda down on the bottom line, lost control. And I believe that'll be it for Paul. We're coming back more lapped traffic. Chris Semyard dropping back a little bit. Kurt Davidson. The lap traffic went to the inside. That was Stephen Bird. Start to see that bottom line bunch up before they went into 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. Chris Semyard is losing the battle on the high side with Shane Pippola and Anthony Fitchner. And we got one lap car mixed into that, the 07 of Billy Howard. So the high side, we've got Chris Semyard, Kurt Davidson, Rob Whitmore, and Billy Howard. On the bottom line, we've got Shane Pippola, Anthony Fitchner, Brad Hicks, Eric Barilli, and Michael Palmer. Thanks for stopping back in, Exalta. Let's see if Chris Semyard drops to the bottom. He decides to stay up high as he starts to get a run on Anthony Fitchner. And that door is closing quickly. More lap traffic is coming up. That is Daniel Haney, who is on that high side, getting lapped at the moment. We saw Rob Whitmore go pretty high there, able to keep control of it though. Doesn't go into the wall, and he'll stay in 5th for the moment, battling Brad Hicks, who's on the bottom line. As Anthony Fitchner battling with Chris Semyard, who's on his outside for the 2nd position. And Chris will pass him up, and so does Kurt Davidson in the White Castle car. Chris Semyard is battling out there, trying to get the run on the high side, not having enough speed though. And we'll see if we get a pit stop, a green flag pit stop for these guys. As we're definitely seeing that high line die down, and we got one car smoking. Not sure who that was. It was the 14 of Stephen Bird. As we're now on 25 to go, Shane Pippola back out front. And Eric Billy working his way back into the top 5, moving into 4th. And let's see if Anthony Thitchner decides to go to the high line. Decides to keep it down for the moment. And Chris Simyard is starting to work his way back up as we're working back on some more lap traffic. And that lap traffic has not moved yet. As the 24 Jeffrey Smith and the 37 of Kirk Dayz, or the 51 of Paul Cohen. And Jeffrey Smith pushed Shane Pippola, and they're going 3 wide. Jeffrey Smith is going to push Paul Cohen and Shane Pippola to 3 wide. As Jeffrey Smith is fighting to stay on the lead lap now. Dangerous move there. As Brad Hicks has gotten behind them. And top line we got Shane Pippola, Anthony Thitchner, Chris Simyard, and Eric Burley. 51 of Paul Cohen clips the apron. Comes back up on the track. Gives a couple guys some checkups. No caution yet. As Eric Burley dropped to the bottom line behind the 24 of Jeffrey Smith. Jeffrey Smith is going to go below the yellow line and try to look like he's trying to force Shane Pippola up the track. Not able to catch up to him once he lost the draft for the moment. As we've now got 2 lapped cars mixed into this front pack with Jeffrey Smith and Billy Howard. If Shane Pippola has now led 10 laps, he's been able to find that rhythm on the bottom line. 18 of AJ Hamel down on the apron. Jeffrey Smith jumps to the top line, pushing Anthony Thitchner up the wall, and will take out Anthony Thitchner. Shane Pippola was... As we still see Jeffrey Smith on the top, or flipped over. Let's take one more look at that. As we have another caution. Seemed like he wanted to go to that high line, and Anthony Thitchner was still there. Who clips Chris Simyard, and we had a couple more cars that went down the grass. And I don't think we had too many more that were... Oh, the 11 took some damage. 71 of Dean Viney. Losing control. Didn't hit anything. 27 blew his engine. And the 24 was flipped over, so... And Jeffrey Smith does come off pit road now. But Shane Pippola is your leader at the moment. Eric Barilli in second. Let's see how the last pit stops of the day shake out. And with that, we'll go to one more, hopefully one more quick commercial break, and come back right up. I think what we're going to do is we're going to pull Lynn McNeese up here. Go ahead and pull him up into the booth. Lynn McNeese, you got a copy?
I got you, sir.
All right, well, you've been battling all night tonight. How's the car out there?
Well, it was doing good. Got slammed pretty hard on that the right front there a while ago, trying to avoid that wreck. So we're just trying to be here, you know, when she got a long ways to go, to try and be patient here. See how we can come up with maybe a finish out of it.
All right, with you going back in the pits, I'll let you get to your pit stop. So good luck to you the rest of the race, and hopefully we see you near the front.
Well, if everything I hold out and we don't crash out here all too much, we'll be in good shape. We'll try it.
All right, good luck.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Len McNeese takes it to the pits, tries to get a little bit more damage cleaned up. Paul Zoda, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
You want to hang out in the booth with me?
I get ready to get back on and run a couple more laps and see if this thing will make it to the end.
All right, I'll drop him back down.
All right, thanks, Brad.
All right, as we got 18 laps to go, and Lynn McNeese comes out in 15th. Our last lap of car, or our last car on the lead lap is actually the 07 of Billy Howard. Because of that caution, was able to get his lap back. And our leader right now is scored as Justin McDuff, who his only lap led so far was under caution. And our top 5 as it sits right now is Justin McDuff, Brad Hicks, James Haney, Keith Haney, and Shane Pippola. As they're now on 1 to go, we'll start to double up hopefully for the last time tonight. 17 laps to go, we'll be on 16 to go when we go green. Now let's do another race summary. Justin McDuff is your leader at this moment, a rookie in Southern Motorsports. We're on lap 68 of 85, 27 lead changes, 5 cautions for 14 laps. So these guys have done a great job out here tonight, keeping it green, and we almost had some green flag pit stops. That pace car will be dipping in. Pace car's dipped in and green flag is out. Justin McDuff will bring these guys to the line. 16 to go here at the Lazy Day Racing Xfinity Series opening race at Daytona. And Justin McDuff able to hold off Brad Hicks. Brad Hicks actually moves to the lead for the moment. But he does regain it with James Haney right behind Justin McDuff, pushing Shane Pipla right behind them as well. And we got the 87 of Keith Haney and Brad Hicks on the outside. Justin McDuff getting his first laps led at the right time with 15 to go. Brad Hicks pushing on that outside, trying to get the lead from him. Kurt Davidson is also found his way into this top pack and has competed pretty well up here tonight. Justin McDuff gets another lap led, 14 to go. Did you blow it up?
There's nothing left of it, so I figured let me park it.
Let me turn you up so we can hear you on the broadcast.
So too much damage.
That's bad break for you, as we got James Haney losing control, crashing into Keith Haney. And Justin McDuff gets clipped now in the grass. Brad Hicks takes over the lead.
Give me a second to
Now
get
he's coming back
set up
on the
here
track. We're going to get a caution. And that all kind of started with James Haney clipping Keith Haney.
Yeah, I missed it. I was trying to get up into the booth with you here.
It looks like James Haney flipped the apron, checked up Keith Haney, and then they both went off into the grass, and Justin McDuff ended up getting bumped and heading down in the grass, hit the pit wall, and came back on the track. Nobody else was involved. But what have you thought of the racing out here tonight so far, Paul?
I think it was pretty good for a while. A couple guys taking too many chances. We had a couple guys taking it 3 wide too quick, and seemed as if there were some guys trying to run other dudes over. So we're gonna have to have a little talk about that after this race is over. But for the most part, I mean, it was a decent car, good setup. I just think you know how it is when the green flag drops.
It's super speedway racing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know late in the race, you really want to try to get track position. You really don't want to lose your spot. But still, even with 20 to go, I mean, at a super speedway, that's still a long ways to go. There's no sense in taking chances like that. And unfortunately, we have a couple incidents on here now that are being filed and protested. So we'll be busy this week.
We do have a pretty interesting top 3. Brad Hicks, who's pretty dominant here in Southern Motorsports, is out front. Kurt Davidson and Bobby Jonas, who I believe Bobby Jonas is a new driver.
Yeah, it's his first night running here.
So, I mean, those two have definitely pushed towards the front. We've seen Kurt Davidson before here, but he has been pushing towards the front, trying to get a win here tonight.
Yeah, he's been pretty good lately too, Kurt. He's pretty new here also, but he's been showing a lot of speed, good driving, so I'm sure we'll see him up here one of these times. Definitely see him up in victory lane.
He'll be starting on that high side, so he's got the chance to push ahead of Brad Hicks here.
I like that car he's got.
The White Castle?
Yeah. The old murder burgers. That's what we used to call them up where I grew up. We're getting pretty wound down to the end of the race here, so I don't know. Guys are going to be giving it all they got now.
I'm sitting here with a close-up on Kurt Davidson's White Castle car right now. I've never actually physically seen a White Castle.
The actual White Castle building for
any of the buildings, yeah.
Oh, dude, you missed out.
They don't have that in the middle of the country.
Yeah, it was a New York thing. I mean, I know they got them frozen in Walmart and stuff.
That's nothing like the real place, I imagine.
No. But one thing I'll tell you about White Castles, man, if you eat them, you'll pay for it for about 3 days. That's why we call them the murder burgers. We used to go there when we were younger, 3 o'clock in the morning, get 40 of them with some onion rings and a Coke. And dude, it was awful.
Yeah, where I grew up, we didn't have Steak and Shake. We didn't have White Castle. We don't have In-N-Out. So when I went with my fiance down to Kansas City, I think it was like we went to a Steak and Shake on Christmas Eve, and I was just amazed.
Yeah, it's amazing the big difference from state to state. I mean, down here, I didn't know what Crystals was. Crystals is almost like White Castles, except Crystals, at least when you eat them, they don't kill you for 3 days.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's been up to Nebraska, but they have a place called Runza, and that is definitely a staple of Nebraska fast food. It's basically a meat-filled Hot Pocket that they make fresh every day.
Oh, nice. I take it you're hungry.
No, just looking at this White Castle car.
When I was on the track before driving, I was next to the Oreo machine, and all I could think about was a glass of milk and some Oreos.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these guys running food trucks or food cars, and they got truck schemes on Tuesday nights, and it's getting hard to broadcast here and not have food next to me.
I know. I'll tell you what, one guy to watch out for is Shane Pippola in that 89 car. I got a feeling him and Brad, I think if they get together, they're going to make some noise. And you got to watch out for Len behind that 41. Len's got a good car underneath him today, and that 41's got a good car. If those two guys can make that high side work and stay out of trouble till the end, I think you might have a fight between those 4, maybe those 5 drivers right there.
And I wouldn't count out the guy sitting in 6th right now, the 71 of Dean Viney. he's been pushing towards the front almost all race. See, with 9 laps, he can still get his shot at the front.
Yeah, he's had a good car all night. I've seen him out there on the track when I was out there, and he's managed to keep it clean. Looks good. And look at old sandbagger Billy Howard. He went from 2 laps down to what is he in now? 8th position.
And I've got to say, the thing that I've been impressed about coming in here tonight, when we ran the Daytona 500 and the Cup Series, we saw almost immediately everybody drop to that inside line, went single file. This whole race, you've had double file, side-by-side racing, the whole 85 laps.
Yeah, you can do that here in these cars. The outside line still works, and it's nice because if you get up there and you can bunch them together, hold your line, you can get out front. Like, guys know that, and, so you're not so desperate to get down to the bottom. I know in the Cup Series, you got to get to the bottom or you get freight train. Here, you got a chance. So, let's buckle them up, man. This is going to be a good finish here. Hopefully, they can stay green the rest of the way. Let's see what Brad does up here.
We did have Keith Haney and Chris Simiard take behind the wall, so. Pace car will dip in. Brad Hicks will bring him to the line. Green flag is out. And 8 laps to go now. Let's see if Kurt Davidson can get that run on the outside.
Yeah, that outside line, if they can just get them together and hold it steady, I'll tell you what, they'll give them a fight. Look at Len giving him a nice, strong push.
Kurt Davidson does take over the lead for the moment. Let's see if he can drop below Brad going into 3 and 4. I don't think he's got the speed now. Brad just got the hood of the front fender of his car in there under Kurt Davidson.
See if he can hang on to it through the travel. Looks like he's got. There they are, all bunched up. See the Mr. Bubble coming down at the inside line. David Gameforth, he's going to try to get a piece in there if he can too. Oh, little door banging going on. 35, Bobby Jonas kind of went up a little bit into Kurt Davidson.
Yeah, we're seeing Kurt Davidson drop back a little bit. I imagine coming out of 1 and 2, they'll definitely have that run. Let's see if Bobby Jonas jumps to the high side in front of him, though.
Yeah, he lost a little momentum, it looked like, when they kind of got into each other there. Scary being up on that outside line and somebody coming up into you because, especially in the turn, if they lose it, they're coming your way.
Kurt's getting that run off. Let's see if he can get it again on the front stretch, as it looked like he was side-by-side with 86. Oh, it's going to be close. Who scored as the leader that lap? Kurt Davidson moves up into second, Lynn McNeese in third.
Yeah, still showing Brad.
Oh, we got a big accident. 5 laps. I don't know if they're going to have... I don't know if that's going to round out the race.
Oh, they're still wrecking. And they're still wrecking back there.
Lots of beat-up cars now.
Trying to go back and look now. It looked like the 101 maybe.
I've got a car going sideways.
Yeah, the 101.
Oreo.
Yeah, 101, and I think that's the 70. Rob Whitmore. Looked like they kind of had a little bit of contact. Yeah, you got a little bit of contact. 70 went up into the wall, and it just went on from there. And guys were just wrecking after that.
Now, it might have been the angle I was looking at it from, but it actually looked like Rob Whitmore got loose there. Because it looked like he came straight down into the 101 and then went right back up to the wall.
Well, looks like this might be it. Brad Hicks might be scored as your winner.
Great finish for the 35 of Bobby Jonas getting his first race out here.
Yeah, second place. Sorry, no, third place. Can't beat that. Yeah, it's one thing with these super speedways. You know, you start off, you have a bunch of cars, and it slowly weeds its way out. Sometimes you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I had a really good car. I thought I was going to get a good finish. I ended up having to park it. So, I mean, it just goes to show you, yeah, good car or not, man, timing is everything.
All right.
I know we got it.
Oh, go ahead.
I would say, I know we got a lot of hot tempers out there tonight. When I was out on the track, we were going back and forth. There was a bunch of drivers that really happy with some of the things that were going on the track. So I'm sure the officials are going to have a fun time trying to work this one out.
It looked like Paul Cohn was able to get this lucky dog and get a lap back. And, you know, we got 3 laps of caution here. Let's go ahead and take a quick break and come back for the finish of the race and our post-race interviews.
Sounds good.
All right, we're back. We still got 2 laps left of caution here. And let's see, how many cars do we still have? We had 20, more than 20 actually. We had 24 still on the track from the original 33 that registered for the race tonight.
Yeah, we started out good, man, but like I said, you just be in the wrong place, the wrong time, man. It could just end your whole night, car or not. You know, it's tough, but you got to expect it coming to a track like this. It's a crapshoot. These super speedways, man, it doesn't take much. All you need is one car to get a little bit sideways, and there's nowhere to go. I mean, so you really should come in with the mindset of, I could come out with the win, or I could, end up parking it like I did. I mean, what am I going to do? That's just the way it is. I mean, guys got to understand that. Guys that have been racing long enough know that.
Our white flag is out now, as they got to go one more time around.
But I think all in all, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think all in all, I think the guys did a good job, though, man. We had some real good long green flag runs there in the beginning, and considering the amount of cars that were out here, guys kept it clean for a long time. So I mean, hats off to them, man. They did do a good job there. A couple of unnecessary incidents, but it's racing. You can't beat down everybody for trying. You just have to put some kind of perimeters up there,
And I know we talked about this before the race, but I got to say this again. We saw probably after, I think it was probably 3 or 4 races into the Cup season, we kind of saw a fall off here at Southern Motorsports, and for this last week and week and a half, I mean, even going back to Watkins Glen last Thursday, has been a crazy turnout for you guys.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just the summertime or what, but it's nice to be able to put some good fields back up again, especially with good drivers. It's really nice when you can run with the same guys every week and get comfortable with knowing who you can run side by side with and all, and it really does make the racing fun. So hopefully this season, tonight's opener, I believe it's a 15 race season. Hopefully, guys will stick around for the whole 15 races.
And Brad Hicks now bringing it to the line for his win tonight.
That's a good run for Brad. He's a good driver, man. We seen him moving up in all the series. We've seen him, I believe, isn't he second place now in the Sprint Cup Series, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
All right.
So he's consistent.
All right, well, let's take another quick break, and we'll get our post-race interviews right after this break. Bobby Jonas, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, you start tonight's race in 5th. Don't get a lap led, but you come out in 3rd. How was the car out there tonight?
It's pretty good. I mean, too many scratches on it, if too many at all. So that's always a good race at Daytona or Talladega. No, it's pretty uneventful for us.
All right, now this was your debut race here at Southern Motorsports. What'd you think of the race?
There was a lot of hard, close racing, but I'll tell you what, everybody was pretty respectful, and it was kind of refreshing to see in iRacing.
Now, I believe next week we're at Atlanta. Do you plan to be out there?
That is the plan, and that's actually one of my favorite tracks, too, is Atlanta.
All right, well, any shout-outs you'd like to give tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody in the series who runs it, Paul, and then the sponsors for the series, and Bobby Jones Graphics, my sponsorship.
All right, well, go ahead and celebrate your 3rd place finish tonight.
And just want to say, good run tonight, man. Welcome to the league. You did a great job. I was telling Steve during the broadcast, what you showed tonight, I think we'll be seeing you up in Victory Lane sometime during the season, if not a couple of times. So good driving, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, well, go ahead and celebrate your third place finish tonight, and we'll see you next week at Atlanta.
All right, take care.
Kurt Davidson, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, we got Paul Zoda up here who's going to do your interview.
Hey, congratulations, man, on your second place run there. Man, you had a good run tonight. You're pretty strong all night. How'd it feel for you?
It was a little nerve-wracking. I haven't done many of these speedway races with iRacing, probably less than 4 or 5. So it was a learning curve, but I got to thank Shane Papala for helping me most of the race, talking me through it. And then at the end, Len McNeese gave me a nice push to finish second. But all in all, good day. It felt good. Happy with second.
Yeah, we were watching you on that last restart, and we were saying, man, it's going to be a fight with you guys at the end there. We were hoping it was going to stay green to see, what came down. But for all that side-by-side racing and everything, man, it's good. You got your car out second, man. That's something to talk about on these tracks. It's really hard. You come in, you're either going to take it or you're going to park it. You took it, so congratulations, man. That's a good way to show tonight.
Yeah, thank you for putting on Southern Motorsports and Lazy Dayz Racing for sponsoring the series.
Hey, and one more thing before we let you go. I got to let you know that because of your scheme, we talked about food for about 2 laps. That White Castle scheme got us talking.
Yeah, something I just thought of not long ago, and the rear bumper cover, that's kind of my favorite part of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, that was a good run. Good run tonight, man. Next week's Atlanta, so hopefully we'll see you there. Maybe you'll get on the podium, get that win next week, brother.
All right, see you there. Thank you.
All right, have a good night. Go celebrate, man.
Brad Hicks, you got a copy?
Yes.
All right, well, you get a win out here tonight to start the season. How's it feel?
I'm pretty lucky. I think that's the first speedway race I've ever won, really.
Now, we saw a lot of guys earlier on in the race using that high side, able to get around. It seemed like at the end, near the end of the race, you're able to fend everybody off on that bottom line.
Oh, yeah. I like to top myself, but in the last couple of laps, I was going to be a bottom feeder. Luckily, 35, I forget his name, but he was bailing on my bumper, keeping me up there next to him.
All right. Well, anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
You and Paul and Lazy Dayz for putting on the series, and just everybody in general, man. It's real fun racing with these guys every week.
All right. Well, go ahead and celebrate your first place finish here tonight. You plan to be out next week at Atlanta?
Yeah, sure will. As long as I'm still kicking.
Hey, congratulations, Brad, man. We were just talking about you before during the end of the run there. And, man, dude, you're doing great. You got, I think you're holding second place in the Sprint Cup Series. You're going to come out of here first place and hopefully hang on to that, maybe get a title this season. Way to go, man. You've been showing some good speed, good driving. We like having you here. Congratulations, man.
Yes, sir. I'm going to try my best to get something. One of them, at least. I know it don't really count for nothing, but we'll see.
I hear you, man. All right, go celebrate, dude.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Paul.
All right, Paul, do you got the results pulled up?
Yeah, I do.
All right, do you want to go through the top 10, and then I'll take 11 through 20?
Sure. All right, we got your winner, Brad Hicks, coming in first. Kurt Davidson, he comes in second place. Bobby Jonas on his first run with the league takes a third place finish. Len McNeese, who had a good car all night, finishes fourth. Shane Papala, one of the guys that I had an eye on maybe for a win, comes in fifth. Dean Viney comes in sixth. David Harvey comes in seventh. Billy Howard, who was 2 laps down at one part of the race, comes in eighth. David Gainforth takes ninth. And Justin McDuff will take 10th.
Coming in 11th, Eric Barilli. 12th will be Jeffrey Smith. Joe Mitchell will finish 13th. Todd Kirkwood, 14th. AJ Hamill 15th. Ryan Gimmel, 16th. Shane McCurry, 17th. Michael Palmer, 18th. Paul Cohen 19th. Adam Baker finishes 4 laps down in 20th.
And then you got your 21st is Jim Locking, who this was his first run here tonight. 22nd, Rob Whitmore. 23rd, Daniel Haney. 24th, you got James Haney. Keith Haney, 25th. Wow, that's pretty cool. They are right next to each other. Not in a great spot, but 26, Chris Simard. 27, Anthony Titchener. You got myself, Paul Zoda, 28th. Stephen Bird, 29th. Jay Dubuque, 30th.
And then David Thompson Jr. was actually our last. Actually, Lupe Gonzalez did grid up. David Thompson Jr., 31st. Lupe Gonzalez, 32nd. And John Sorensen did not take to the field. All right. Well, we had a pretty good race out here tonight, Paul Zoda. Is there anything you'd like to say to wrap up the race?
I'd just like to say that if anybody's interested, we still have races open. If you would like to sponsor, you can sponsor in any series. Just contact us on our website and, hit us up. We work you a good deal with it. Hopefully we put on a good show for everybody. Remember, we have Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, and Thursday nights live racing in 3 different series. So if you're a driver and you drive clean and you're interested in running, come apply. And we'll get with you. If you're interested in doing sponsorship, get with us and we'll get with you too. And thanks for watching.
All right. And with that, I'd like to thank everybody once again for stopping by and checking out the race tonight on Twitch and on YouTube. Make sure to follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube. We have races 4 nights a week right now on Arctic Broadcasting on YouTube and on Twitch, simulcast at the same time, so you can check us out on either page. And once again, thank you everybody for stopping by and have a great night.
Have a good night, everyone.